Hello everyone, I'm here with a healer, Kundalini trainer, and also psychotherapist, Za Rah. Hello, Za Rah.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I've been on the plane for a while, so I come from my profession. My first one, or my first love, was always to help or support people, and so I was a psychotherapist and a researcher. So that's how it started, and I started to ask myself, what is the things that help people? And so I looked beyond what we do as psychotherapists or psychiatrists, and I really wanted to understand how to help myself and others. And so I found meditation, Kundalini yoga, and that became my passion. I really wanted to deepen that. So I'm a healer and an author, wrote a book, and a singer, an artist.
So you said you started as a psychotherapist.
Yes.
And how long did it take you to realize that maybe you want something else?
Well, I think I understood that pretty early I think the big break in there are like exit points somehow and breaks in a life, right? Was when I had a near-death experience at the age of 13, and I was disconnected from my body for like around 10 minutes, and I so understood, like I really, really in a deep sense knew why I'm here, and I remembered that, why I'm here. And so then when I came back, I remembered how it is to be here and how to help and what my service is while I'm here. And so that was clear, absolutely clear, where I'm going from here. And but I wanted to learn a foundation. I wanted to understand the human psyche, because I have been in a very young age through a lot. So actually that's a good, if you've been through a lot, that's not a bad start. And you know, we're on a healing festival, so it's actually really nice to hear that, to be able to say, hey, you've been through a lot, that's fine. And there's so much hope. And this is where I came from. And this is where I'm so grateful for everything that happens, that everything that happens somehow guided me towards what I'm doing now. And there was not even knowing where it's going exactly, but there's always a path under the feet while you walk. And that's not me doing it, you know. And that's what I understood when I was out of my body, that I'm not alone. And that really helped me coming back.
Your work, can you tell me a little bit more about doing Kundalini healing? What?
Well, I think when I had a big practice close to Munich in Germany, doctoral license, and did the whole thing, 10 years of studies beyond the diploma, you know, beyond the bachelor, and all the work in the psychiatric clinic and all of that. But all of that, to have my own practice, to feel like I'm free to actually practice what I wanted to do, only to understand that I'm still in a system. That system that actually told me how to treat patients and how to be with them, how to be with people, and even thinking that they are patients and not like sisters and brothers and clients, or however you want to call it. And it really changed in me when I had that feeling of that I always, in every way, when I talked with people, that I always worked energetically, that I just talked because people wanted to hear a voice, that I always talked telepathically with them. I already knew what they needed and what they felt, so I asked their soul. But I didn't understand that when I was younger, so I was just like not talking and thought I was talking, but I didn't talk. And so it was really like a magnetic thing where that what I was already doing wanted to actually be embodied, instead of trying to hide and being a psychotherapist that works energetically the whole time and not saying it, because it's so stigmatized. If you're in that kind of profession with all these doctors, then it's stigmatized to be the wild one, hugging trees and talking to the aliens and, you know, and loving crystals. But you know what? I really wanted to be me at some point. Yeah. And I knew that the more I become me, I can help others.
So was it a process for you to...
Yeah, and for my husband. For my husband, who is like, we're like 17 years married, and who is a doctor of engineering and totally doesn't, I think he's a very kind soul, but he doesn't relate to all of this. And he's like, wow, I think my wife is nuts. But that's another form of friendship, to say, you know what, I guess we don't understand that same level, but somehow he trusts. Yeah. Because everything I ever channeled was real and true. And so he's like, I don't know how she does it, but something. So, yeah. Yeah.
So you're also influencing him?
Exactly. You will.
So how does it look like when you work with clients? Maybe for someone who is exactly maybe like your husband, and they don't know, you know, maybe they are also thinking that, oh, this is nuts. How does it look like when you work with someone?
Well, since I have the whole foundation of the matrix of the other worlds, of that which is like the normality here, it's very easy for me, because I have navigated all these realms. It's not like I lost it. It's just like one little tool in a box, in a bag, you know. So it's absolutely fine for me to pick up somebody where they are. So and since we can telepathically somehow also, or with our subtle bodies, feel each other, and we can feel what is the actual need of the other and where they are vibrationally, we can pick them up where they are and then go up. Because if you pick them up there and they're somewhere, you know, then, I mean, they're just like, don't talk to me, what are you, you know. So the one that has the biggest range can modulate, right? Yes. And then modulate a little down, just wherever somebody can grasp it. And it's not a judgment at all, because we're in so many ways all here to have experiences. And some people are here to have the experience of a very earthy, very grounded earth life, which is totally fine. And they just want to be an engineer, or they just want to be a car mechanic, and they don't want to hear anything about the planets or about healing. And I think it's so important that we just accept that and still love them. And just say, you know what, that's great. And I'm happy you're here. True.
It's true. It's a good reminder. There's nothing wrong about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you had a very powerful workshop today.
Yes.
What did you do there?
Very good that you have been there.
Yes, I experienced myself.
Well, it was a workshop on healing, and which is my main passion, or the main work I'm doing. And this is what and healing has so many facets. So we have a beautiful sanctuary in Greece, where we live close to the Temple of Poseidon, south of Athens, and where we create healing fields, where we do workshops and stuff like that. And the healing work that I presented today, that was just one facet. The facets are meditation, something that aligns the physical body. So in my case, it's Kundalini yoga that really helps to prepare the body for this intense work. And especially for very highly sensitive people, or for people that feel a lot, or for people that have such strong antennas that they perceive so much. So it's really nice if you align your body and help yourself, you know, switch on your light and switch on your connection, because then everything else around you is not like getting to you so fast. And so that's what the first thing that we did was a really strong breath work and Kriya to actually balance the elements. We are comprised of different elements, and most of the time, if we are not like working constantly on them, it is just normal that things are a little bit like, you know, that the proportions maybe not always perfect. Like some people have a lot of fire. There was a girl in the class that had a lot of fire, and there's a lot of, you know, heat and emotions coming up. That can happen. That's just like another tendency. It's not always pathological, but it's really beautiful to balance it out. And then we use a lot of sound. Sound that's why I create sound, because sound is such a science and so important. And sound can alter and change everything. Yeah. So sounds and healings. Healings in a form of silent healings where people lay down and rest, and you're opening this whole field of healing space for people, or the way that that is in the courses. Then when people learn that more, to actually start to use your senses to perceive the messages that come through. You can call it channeling, you can call it intuition, you can call it telepathy to that soul of the other person, but also to your higher self. Anything where you learn how to become more aware of the wisdom that is beyond your limited human capacity in this moment. Because we are all more than that.
We are more than our bodies.
Or more than our bodies, and more than that which we perceive with the one thought process that we're perceiving now. So when we open some more facets, or we open some more fractals to more information, then that can come in. It's a process to learn that, to also actually step out of the way with that part of yourself, you know, with this day consciousness. I call it day consciousness, because we all have that. No matter how high vibrational we are, there is some kind of a day consciousness, which is like, okay, teeth brushing, okay,
Like
you know what I mean? Like a normal, like this daily this normal day consciousness. But there's something beyond that, which when you start to tune it in, like on a dial, you become very, very unstoppable. And it's very nice to become unstoppable, because everyone here is here with something they bring, which is very beautiful. And I love to bring people in touch with their magic, and I really would love them to shine that here. And to do that, they need to break out of the hypnosis of their day consciousness.
How do we start doing it?
Well, yeah. First of all, to know that it's there, to know that you're more dimensional than that what you have been taught that you are. To understand that there are laws in this creation that can be bent or that can be expanded. And that means to become from a person that says or thinks, why is this happening to me? To a person that says, wow, this is happening through me or for me. That's a huge difference. So from a person that says, why is it happening to me, to come to the conclusion to say, wow, it's happening for me. And then the next thing, it's happening through me. When it's happening through you, you're a creator.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's about realization. That's the first step, right?
The first step is love. To be really, that's my experience. the first step is realization and love, because in this time somehow we cannot create something of deeper, long-lasting value if our heart is not connected. Because there's so many things that happen around us that are just challenging to keep it open, right? Heartbreak, pain, betrayal, like all of that stuff, you know, everything is like in duality pairs on this planet. So it's like the whole school classroom. It's like a classroom. And somehow one of the things has to do with opening the heart to you. Because that's big. And we have not been taught to open our heart to us. And then we're trying to help everyone else, and we're running and we're trying to save the world. But you know, actually asking, how can I like open my heart to that little girl that started that journey? Yeah, how can I open my heart to me? And then when you open your heart to you and you start to forgive yourself, then start to open your heart to others. Maybe start to open the heart. That for me changed everything. Actually starting to open the heart for the divine, for that consciousness that gave like breath to all of us, that connects us all.
Beautiful. Like a lot of people actually talk about this, you know, about love, about opening heart, about self-love. But for someone, it can be hard to imagine what it means, because maybe you already know the feeling, you know how it feels.
Yes.
But for people who are not there, it can be hard to imagine what does it mean to have love, to feel love, you know, to open heart.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's absolutely. It's especially because in most cases that is not something you're being taught in a normal school. Because what we are being taught in normal schools has all to do with somehow functioning, to just be an amazing little robot that will go. Yeah, that's the old school system. It's like that. So that's why we're trying to find beautiful ways to school our children in different ways, because the old system basically wants to produce little slaves. And we don't want that anymore. And a lot of us have been through school systems like that, where we just learn how to just suck it up, always suck it up. And that's what I mean with love. And it's totally fine. I have so many clients that have no idea what that means. And that actually get stressed because they have been programmed that whatever, somebody did mean things to them as a child and then said, but I love you. Don't you understand? I love you. But you know, yeah, I understand. But you know, sometimes the words and the actions don't fit. So in many ways we have to unravel, unlearn, deprogram ourselves. So we're deprogramming ourselves from this absolute trauma bond that we have with reality. And then when that happens, you become somebody who's actually able to switch on their presence. And it doesn't even matter if you want to be a singer, great. You want to be an interviewer, great. You want to be a photographer, also good. An artist, yes. Even if you want to be in a bank, then it doesn't matter, because then your light shines and you just let it come through. And my understanding is that that's how the avatar consciousness works. We bring through that light in us. That's where it starts. And then you become a vessel for that, and others that come in touch with you will be activated. And they continue to do the same. That's how we bring heaven to earth. We're not doing it alone. It's not one person on the stage that is so cool and everybody else is not. It's very important for me. I always say that to people. Okay, I'm there. Okay, whatever. You know, this is a thing we do together. And it's awesome. I love the art of all of us. But it's like a mosaic, like we are like weaving this tapestry of sound and healing and art and our beauty, and we're, yeah.
I think
That's
this
how it works.
Sorry. I think this is also what helped me in my life, because I grew up in an atheistic country, family, and for me, I thought that I'm here alone. Like there's no one who can help me. And when I started to discover these kind of things, I felt like, oh my God, we are connected. You know, like there is something more. I'm being held. You know, nature, we are connected. It was so, you know, so powerful for me to realize this, and so
It's so beautiful you say that. Yes, exactly. So powerful to understand, wow, there's an absolute breath and energy that is connected with everything. Every molecule around our hands now, every tree, every breath, every sound, every person, every plant, every animal, we're all connected. And yeah, it's so beautiful. And it's such a, see, isn't it so soothing for the body and for the heart to know that? Because this is where a lot of the fears come in people. The fears, a lot of the fear comes from, I'm completely alone. The feeling to think you're completely alone creates tremendous pain and tremendous fear, and it's like one of the biggest pains that we have here. But they don't know that that's the pain. They just think, I'm afraid of flying, or I'm afraid of driving a car, or I'm afraid of big, like crowded rooms. But it's actually, I'm disconnected. This is the big thing where I went from psychotherapy to holistic healing, where I know that in that moment maybe a psychiatrist would give a medication. But what are you medicating? You're medicating the need for connection. You're only medicating the little symptom, like the little branch, the little tiny little, like, and then there's this whole tree that wants to be connected. And you're like, here, take this medication, take it, you know, take that medication. And then that whole system is shook. And I don't say that it's, yeah, you know, that counts for every kind of symptom, but in many ways we do that instead of say, okay, wait, because that takes time, and nobody wants to take time in the allopathic medicine. Many don't want or don't have time, just have to go fast. So it's about connection, yeah. And I think that's, if somebody asks themselves what is love or how can I feel love, it's about just actually being present with them and with that question. What does that mean? Let's wait and sit, and don't have to rush, and don't have to push you, and I don't have to explain to you. We just sit with it. How does that feel to not know what love is?
wow, that's deep. I've experienced this myself, what you were talking about medicaments. I was never taking medicaments, but one time in my life I had severe anxiety and also panic attacks, but all I was disconnected.
Yes.
Because I felt like this is the path, I need to do it, and I was pushing myself into this, but my soul was saying, no, this is not your path, don't do this, why are you pushing yourself into this? And then I found a therapist who helped me to slowly, you know, unfold and to realize what was going on. So I'm so happy that there are therapists like this.
Yes.
Who, you know, because I could have been on pills right now,
exactly.
maybe for my whole life,
and
I would be miserable, in pain.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah, yes, and it's very good you found a person like that, because they know, she or he knew that they had to help you on a different level. Yeah, and I know that quite well from myself, because when I was 13, I overdosed on drugs, and I was nearly dying, you know, because for me it was, I tried to run away, and I really want to share this. Usually I'm not share this a lot, but I want to share this because I know a lot of young people have that problem, and it doesn't matter, and it could be that, or could be something else, or could be pills or whatever. But in that case, it was really me trying to run away from my gifts. Since a very young age, I already saw, I could feel energies. I was super, super sensitive. I could see spirits. I felt them in the room. I knew when a room had a weird energy, and nobody of the adults had anything good about it to say. They just said, that's a dream. Just stop that. Don't think about this. And it made me feel so wrong. And I didn't want to lose it. It was really interesting because every time adults said that to me, I still remember how I wrote, I drew light language, like I drew sacred geometry, because I could not write yet. I was a child, so I was just like doing this. And it all had one sense. It was like, don't forget where you came from. So I had this, like all this star stuff in me, and I said, you cannot become like the adults. Because the adults have all kinds of, I always thought as a child that the adults have, something is happening to them which makes them stupid. Because they always said, you cannot say that in front of the children. I'm like, I just sat there and I heard everything, and I was always like, wow, you really think I don't understand that? I understand everything. I know your thoughts. I knew my parents' thoughts. And I was like, I'm not from here. I don't know where you are from, but you're like my parents here. But I always thought they're like, it's the other way around. It's like we're taking care of them. And somehow it's also true, because a lot of the children are still very connected. And so if we are growing up and we are keeping that connection and that childlike innocence and wonder, we preserve it. We don't let that happen to us. And if it happened to some of us, we can still try to recover. Recovery from adulthood.
That's funny. What you just described about, being sensitive, I have it myself because I'm also highly sensitive, and I meet a lot of people who are like this, and we really feel insane sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we can feel when someone comes in a room, and sometimes I feel like, oh, it feels like a dark cloud,
Yeah.
like heavy energy.
Yes.
And maybe someone trying to, I don't want to say taking your energy, but like
Yes.
you can feel drained after
Yes.
some conversations.
Yes.
What do you do with this, maybe, so it doesn't, take your energy
Yes.
away?
First of all, I don't feel it at all like we're insane. I feel it, but I know what you mean. Like this is that would be the label others might give it. But I think it's so nice if we can like start to normalize or to like actually be like, okay, this is fine. It's fine. And it's actually great if you feel everything. Oh, I wish people would feel everything. Because then nobody would throw stuff into nature. Nobody would scream at others. Nobody would, you would have the subtlety of actually feeling another. Maybe seeing how far you can come close to another, or how how to move around space. Amazing. What a dream that would be if people would actually feel one another. Yeah. And so I think it's just like another dimension opening up, which is also a great gift, because it can help you a lot with deciphering where you need to go and where not. Without judgment, just saying, is that for me? No. And listen to it. Just listen. It's like, wow, see, this energy field shows you something in that moment. Do you want to sit there? Maybe you want to sit on the other side of the house, or of the table, or of the restaurant, which is fine. And which is also totally fine to take care of yourself. That number one. I learned how to live with that by actually prioritizing a lot of time alone, which I like. I love people. I'm here at a huge festival and teaching on huge stages. Yes, I love that, but I need the balance. So I know what I need, so I would go out and take my time on my own, or I need to be on the ocean or be with nature. Yes, and do that. And there's all kinds of, well, in my book, Heaven on Earth, there's this book that I wrote that was the idea of the book. I wrote the book so even normal people can open it up and just look through the book and find something and say, oh, a clearing, super, I'm doing it. I'm doing it for myself. And if people don't like to read, it's the app. But something like, I think it's also really beautiful to allow yourself not to do everything on your own, but to say, hey, there are great creators that do that. Just press play and do it. Or sit down, of course, if you're skilled and you feel like you can do it, it's all about clearing and letting go of the attachment to that energy field. And maybe not even letting it in the first place.
What is clearing about, now that you mentioned it?
Clearing is all about, well, clearing sounds like very like technical or medical, but somehow you have to see you're just constantly surrounded by energies. We just talked about that. We're all connected, yes. Some are more sensitive than others, yes. But everybody holds an energetic body and an emotional body, that carries all kinds of emotions. So if you pick up on that, it can be very intense for you. You're going around, you pick up the emotions of this person or that person, and you're trying to help here, and you buy a coffee and you pick up the emotions of that person. And you sometimes, when you're very sensitive, at the end of the day or at the middle of the day, you don't even know who you are anymore.
I know.
So and when I was young, I was just getting grumpy, and I didn't know why. I was just like, like this grumpy, childlike thing, where I just want to run away. And but then I matured, and I'm like, okay, one moment, I didn't take care of myself. For me, clearing is to just like consciously say, okay, hello, all of this out. And then consciously say, and all of this in. And that's like, just like the whole alignment, where you learn how to actually connect yourself with your energy field. Who am I in this moment? Just allow your very unique frequency. We're all one, yes, but you're this unique fractal, this one DNA that is just in you, that you allow that to flourish and that you feel you. And when you do that, and it feels actually really nice, and then you say, oh yeah, and it's all beautiful, everything around me, and I get to be. And then, when you fully feel that, then it's really easy sometimes to just open up and say, it's all right. I hug so many people every day, every time I teach. After that, everybody wants a hug. And I love them. And, I couldn't have done that 10, 15 years ago before I did my work. And now it's just like, I know that we're all one. And somehow it shifts. Shifts, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, this was also important on my journey to learn to take care of myself. And right now in my head, it's like, if I take care of myself, I can be of service for others. I can be more helpful if I first take care of myself. And also it was important for me to learn to say no. That was very important thing for me.
Yes, exactly. If we don't know how to say no, it's really, really, it's really hard, and it's somehow, especially for women, something that we don't get to learn in many cultures. Not getting to learn how it is to actually say, hey, I prioritize my peace in this moment, and it's important for me. I love you, but I need to do something else. And at the moment, I mean, this is, I wanted to share that, as at the moment there's a lot of my focus goes into training people that want to heal and then go for their own healing, but then also help others. And so I started to work a lot with women in Europe, America, and the Middle East, So I'm based between Athens and Dubai. So we also work a lot in the Emiratic countries, so in the Emirates, and do journeys in Egypt and Jordan and all these places. And this is the first year that I actually open up to teach men in these courses too. So it's like, I never really excluded men. I had also men in journeys and journeys to Egypt and stuff, but the healer training somehow was first really for many years now a container for women. And so it's like the first time that this November I'm starting a new course where men are admitted. So it's for both.
Is it online or offline?
Well, it is in a beautiful studio in Dubai this time, and every month it's a weekend, but it's then also online. So you can be there in person or you can be online.
So it's about how to become a healer.
Yes, it's a foundation course finally, because I'm still having courses that have been many years with me and that work and continue to work. And this is a course where I start with the foundations, with psychology, with psychotherapy, with inner child work, with consciousness, with meditation, with all the foundations that you need, that would even be interesting for many people just to take the course just for yourself. Or if you are in a healing profession, that you might want to have it just as a good foundation. Yes.
So it's really holistic.
Yes,
With also
it's very
psychotherapy.
holistic. Yes, and it has sounds and meditation and psychotherapy, and we do a lot of, that. I call it guided growth. Guided growth is the psychotherapy part about it, where people bring their own cases and we talk about it and we learn. And so it's really nice because it's like in a group setting and people really learn about that. So it's either a case where you work with somebody or your own life. It's also very good. But sometimes people are shy and then they start, okay, my client. But it's also good. You learn a lot about yourself. My client, that client came to you for a reason. You know what I mean? Like there's like some kind of resonance.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds interesting to me because I'm also on this path of, I'm a coach, but in very like traditional way.
Yes.
Coaching it has some, let's say, systems, how you should do it. And sometimes I feel like like in a box.
Yeah. That's good. Just rip the box apart.
Right.
Rip it apart. It's good. You learned it and then become bigger than that box because you're already there. You're already like on the edges. Like,
Yeah. So I feel like I have a strong calling to really do something more.
Super.
I can feel many stuff, and usually when I tell people, they are like, "Wow, yes."
Yeah, you're already channeling. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like when you look at, it's the same with cognitive behavioral therapy or anything that is like in a system. If you have extraordinary capacities, it's really beautiful to train them more. And I believe that actually everybody has them. So what we're doing now is to help people to actually uncover them and polish them. Like a diamond that you pick up from the mud and you start to rinse it and then you start to polish it and then it becomes really good. Yeah, like that. And it's a time where we break through all these barriers when we grow and we want to just like open up these boxes that held us back. Because you know what you can be. If you go beyond that, then you're really like full on you. That's magical.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel who I am really. But there's still so many limitations and fears. But I can see it, like what is there, and it's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to uncover everything.
Yes, it's beautiful. And it's a beautiful path too. That's why it's very beautiful to have it in some kind of a container, because it's a very intense journey. Because it's always easier to actually stay or stick with the old. It requires your bravery and you somehow you say, yes, you know what, I really want to know what's behind that corner. Really want to know what's behind that box. And that's the magic, because we're all like collectively right now breaking free of boxes, of systems. And you know, we're bringing heaven to earth, and whoever is listening to this, we're bringing heaven to earth right now, and you're all doing it with us together. So I'm really cheering for these people, and that's why I'm not sitting in some office where I used to sit. That's why I said, okay, I have to be out there, but you know, inspiring, helping. And I know that everyone who gets healing enough, they also do the same. We all want to go out there, inspire and help, and we all need it. Yeah, it's a huge shift in consciousness, and there's so much happening, and it's great, and we're part of it. That's why we're here. Otherwise, it's boring. Why not? Come on, have some fun. We're gonna have some fun being on the planet, and it's good to have some fun with it. That's what we're doing here.
That's true. Like, I feel like we all want to be, you know, we want to feel fulfilled, happy, connected. That's what we are looking for.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
It was lovely.
Thank you.